It's kind of sad to admit that the Great Patriotic War today is literally me versus Ethiopia. Hello there, my good people. It's your boy, the Man Penguin here, and we are back today in some Hearts of Iron 4. Today's video is a little challenge that I've thought up for myself, unfortunately. It sees us in the Soviet Union, but, you know, with a slight change to regular things. Today's video is actually going to see me using volunteers to basically try and disrupt the world as much as humanly possible. The idea is to win World War II with volunteers. Is that possible? Probably. Am I going to be able to do it by myself? Probably not. But, you know, we're going to give it a whirl today. Production-wise, you know, I'm just going to stick with what I got. I am going to produce air, and I am going to switch over to heavy tanks. I'm a big heavy tank guy. I like heavy tanks. They've grown on me a lot. But, you know, my production lines are pretty basic. I'm not even going to with the Navy. I'm just going to let the Navy do what the Navy does. You know, it does what it does. Research-wise, I'll just do your basic stuff, you know. And with my focuses, I'm probably going to mostly focus on grabbing any of these factories that I can, you know, expanded aircraft industry. My industry is just infrastructure and then building mills on top of that infrastructure. I know that's technically not the optimal way to do infrastructure with the Soviet Union, but in today's video, I kind of want a heavy military industry. So, you know, since last I've seen you, they have changed things to have electrical grids. This is interesting. I'm going to ask if anybody knows if they have made nuclear reactors actually produce electricity or not. Obviously, right off the bat, though, we can get involved in a war in Ethiopia, so I'm going to slap two mountaineers there. I have no air volunteers, but that doesn't matter. They have air bases, but they do not have room for volunteers, which kind of stinks a little bit, but what are you going to do? But my divisions have arrived in Ethiopia. They already took a, what's it called? Can we push them out of Somalia? Why are there no Italians in Somalia? I'm not complaining, but why is there no Italians? Unfortunately, I could not push them out of Somalia. Actually, well, we kind of got pushed out of Somalia, but I was able to get encirclement at USA, so, you know, it's not all bad. Ethiopia being a slightly tougher nut to crack than I was expecting, but, you know, as long as my guys can hold on, I should be able to stop the Italians eventually. But Spain has also gone into civil war, so now it's time to send 6 divisions over there to go on a crusade against Spanishness, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. But while I await their arrival, I will try and kill the Italians. I gotta run this stuff so slow, and I'm running 3 speed, and it's 1936. Managing 2 fronts with, you know, one front that's very delicate, the Ethiopian front, it's not really easy. I am obviously going for the encirclement here. Whether I can get it or not is a different question. Nah, don't let them out of there. Oh, friends, come on. Oh my god, they're gonna cook me. They better not. They almost did. They almost cooked me there, those Ethiopians. This is what I mean by a very, you know, fragile front. Spain isn't exactly unfragile, but it's a little less fragile, simply because it's so much slower. I pulled off 2 encirclements on the front, one here in the south, which is a very easy encirclement to pull off. It won't be so easy to clear because, you know, unplanned offensives. And then obviously one here in Ethiopia, also in the south, sort of southwest, I guess. Chiang Kai-shek, sorry, Chiang Kai-shek, I can't kill you today. I wanted to, but I can't. Just pulling off a few baby bitch encirclements right now, you know. League of Nations resolution to support Ethiopia. We should organize this properly. Send volunteers, more volunteers. Okay, does that mean I can't send more volunteers? Oh, that's so dumb. Whatever, I have really helped the Ethiopians out a lot, though. Spain, I mean, you know, Spain is Spain. They're so dumb. I mean, the AI is so dumb. They have an encirclement here in Sevilla. If they would just do their battle plan in Sevilla, they would have mopped it up by now, but they're so dumb. They're so dumb. Genuinely, the Spanish AI, especially the Republican Spanish AI, might be the worst AI ever created. Oh my god, look at all those Czechoslovaks. Why can they send so many divisions and I can't? What is the law? Oh, they're not all Czechoslovaks, that's why. There's Poles, there's Lithuanians, there's Estonians. Italy and Ethiopia just signed a white peace. We won that war for Ethiopia. I mean, that's technically. Spain, now I can focus all my attention here, not moving at all, but that's fine, who cares? That's Spain for you, not moving. They do a lot of sleeping, so it's not even remotely surprising. I picked up a nice little encirclement here in Spain. That's quite a few divisions, a lot of Portuguese people, thank God. People know my feelings about the Portuguese after the Haiti World conquest. God willing, there will never be anywhere safe in Portugal. Oh my... And it still stands to this day, and I don't know how long the Haiti World Conquest was now. And nationalist Spain just capped. I took La Coruna, and they just said, yeah, we're done, we quit. So I'm just gonna let my guys go to Barcelona now, and then down the coast, hopefully, and cap these anarchists. And there goes the anarchist Spain, and now all of Spain is controlled by Spain, so good job, Spain. Definitely had nothing to do with me at all. I'm gonna grab up support the Kuomintang, because helping China is the right thing. And technically, this isn't the right China, but they're the best China to help, unfortunately. But I am killing Japanese people, so I feel like it kind of balances it out a little bit, right? My 7 divisions have arrived, and, well, they're about to go, hopefully, on a tear. Oh, yeah, they're going on a tear. As is unsurprising, you know, what else would you expect from Soviet tank divisions? The Japanese, you know, they're Japanese. I don't know what to say other than that. That's 13 Japanese divisions just about to disappear into the dirt. Poor Japs, they got 53 to 93 divisions, so they ain't doing too hot, put it lightly. If you have not had the pleasure of destroying the Japanese invasion of China with heavy tanks, you know, I recommend you get on it as soon as you can, because it truly is a delight. They technically still have a capital here with Menguko, Well, the Mongol military government. They can change the name on me. And I think also Manchukuo just capped. Beautiful. The Japanese have been encircled up here, and they still technically have supplies somehow in some godforsaken way, like voodoo magic, but it really shouldn't be able to stop my tanks. Literally, as soon as I got done saying that, they just peaced out. So, well, I just won the China War. Congratulations, Soviet Union, 7 heavy tank divisions. It's that easy to win the war in China, too, by the way. I just want to point that out. And there fires WW2. I'm just gonna say to hell with Poland. I'll actually send them some air volunteers, you know what? Because I'm kind like that. But genuinely no, though. To hell with Poland. Because that's where they're gonna go, unfortunately. Where I will send my volunteers is France. And, can I send some volunteers to you guys? I can. I'm just gonna let the Air Force duke it out over over Poland. I know they're not gonna do much. They're probably just gonna mainly get blown up. But I'll let them duke it out for a little bit. They earned it. Germany wants to buy my tanks. Sure, Germany. Unfortunately, my air could not help Poland, but you know what? We tried. And trying is about 3/4 of the battle. I'm just doing what the French refused to do in World War II, and I took Bitburg. The Germans, they won't last much longer without Bitburg. Bitburg is the economic capital of Germany. The Germans have begun invading the Benelux, so I sent 4 tank divisions worth of volunteers over to hopefully hold the line. My planes are up over the Benelux, but they're not doing a whole lot of good. They're trying, you know, but trying and doing are 2 very different things. If the Italians had a hard time with the Greeks, well, they're having a lot harder of a time with Soviet heavy tanks as well. This is the 2nd time the Italians have been done over by the Soviets today, and I'm sure it won't be the last. Apparently sending 20 divisions, most of which are heavy tanks, is quite an efficient way to beat the Germans. Now, why didn't the Soviets do this in real life? I don't really know. Maybe, maybe they weren't quite confident in themselves with their heavy tanks. They should have been, but what are you gonna do? Why the Allies didn't just spam heavy tanks is beyond me, because they would have won the war if they did, very quickly. Oh well, you can't do everything right the first time. There'll always be a World War III they can make it up with. It seems that no matter what universe you're in, Soviet tanks will inevitably encircle Berlin. And there go the Germans. I just took Berlin. Technically the British took Berlin, but I took Berlin. Y'all saw that. Y'all know who it really was. The British are always taking credit for, everybody else's great deeds or inventions or whatever. You know how they are. They always like to steal things from others. You'd think they were Romanian. Rome has fallen to the Soviet volunteers. Also, Prague fell to the Soviet volunteers as well. Yep, Wiener fell to the Soviet volunteers. Come on, they should not be much around longer, right? And there goes the war. The peace treaty just fired. France took Austria. Germany actually got out of this pretty decently. Poland looks disgusting, but they got what they deserved. But there you go. As it turns out, it is very easy to win World War II with just volunteers. A little surprising, but also not completely surprising. I mean, the Germans really aren't that strong. But, what a world. What a world. So far. Obviously, we're not done yet. I want to see what continues. This is basically just turned into like a pacifist or interventionist Soviet run. Stalin is a true pacifist. Ignore that. He respects the Baltics' right to self-determination. He respects their right to self-determination so much he's gonna rally peaceful protests in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. We're helping them self-determine themselves into communists. I don't really think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's peaceful. It's a completely peaceful process. The Germans just don't know when to quit, man. They just declared war on the Allies again. But you know what? I'm actually gonna help them today. Oh my God, the Dutch have 36 to 157 divisions? Are you kidding me? How do they have that many divisions? That doesn't make any sense. They're Dutch. The Dutch don't deserve that many divisions. What in the world? Between 100-something Dutch divisions plus the Allies being way overpowered and the Germans being completely useless, I was not really able to help Germany with my 8 tank divisions. So unfortunately, they lost that war. Now the French have been declared war on by Cameroon, and unfortunately, I'm guaranteeing the French because I did that stupid focus in my focus tree. So now I'm at war with Cameroon. Technically, this is a defensive war, so it's still pacifist, so it's not all bad. I'm still a pacifist Soviet Union. Oh, my 5-year plan just got disrupted? By what, the Ethiopians? Are you kidding me? It's kind of sad to admit that the Great Patriotic War today is literally me versus Ethiopia. That is the Great Patriotic War. I've landed in Ethiopia. I helped them get their independence, and then they declared war on me for some reason. And, well, now I'm helping them get their independence once more, away from this lame blue shit. Who the hell wants to be blue? Nobody likes blue. Everybody prefers red up in this bitch. I have a lot of blue in me. Hold on, that's weird. But that was quite literally the Great Patriotic War right there. The war with Ethiopia. Actually, I came out of that pretty nicely. I got some puppets, so nothing to complain about in that regard. Japan just declared war on me. I kind of knew they were going to do that since I got the little thing. They're stacked in Sakhalin, and I don't know why they decided to declare war on me. I also put them in war with all the allies. But I'm not complaining. I do have a little bit of a navy out here. It's, it's a navy. It has 2 carriers. Oh my God, my navy tore theirs to shreds. I didn't even realize. Lost a couple of dudes, but holy moly. All right, I need to hit them. Fellas, we gonna land? Yeah, we are. Okay. All right, we got the port that we needed. I landed in Japan, and it's going pretty well right now. They don't have very much resistance, which is kind of surprising considering they only have their island to defend. The Japanese are really, they're being a tough nut to crack. They got a lot of divisions. I mean, they've dealt a lot. I'm freaking cast bombing them into the ground, and it doesn't matter. I got my tanks. I mean, granted, you know, it is definitely terrain. That's not helpful. But, eventually I should break through them, right? Like, eventually. And when I make that one breakthrough, that should be it. It's gonna cost me a lot of guys in the meanwhile. You know what? Sacrifices must be made, unfortunately, for the greater good. It took a lot of effort, but we did take Tokyo, and we also encircled all of their divisions here. There go their encircled divisions. Boy, oh boy, that was a lot of casualties. Basically 1 million men in that encirclement, or very close to it. Now, of course, somehow we're gonna have to kick them out of one of these islands. Oh, this is gonna be disgusting, my friend. I'm just sitting here staring at the map, completely blank. Japan just capped. I didn't take this island, but they are gone. So that's a very beautiful thing. But there's the peace deal. I got all of Japan. I got Soviet Japan. I got this thing here, the United Communes of Northern Japan. Plus that, the Ainu Agrarian Farmers Republic. So I unfortunately do not see a world in which any more war is going to continue. Not that it's impossible. I don't see how it will. I'm just going to let the game run a little longer to see if any more wars fire. If they do, well, you'll see that. And if they don't, well, you won't. I waited. I have waited an ungodly amount of time, but the Chinese have finally done something. They declared war on my Mongolia. Quite rude of them. I should probably get some support down there from Mongolia. I pull the divisions off the border here. Yeah, I mean, I could pull them off. It's gonna take them so long to get there, though. It's a good thing, you know, I had 72 tank divisions waiting. Too bad for the Chinese, you know. But at least I finally get to fight a war. I mean, I've been waiting for so long for one of these, and I'm casting the Chinese to death, and that's what they deserve for trying to invade my Mongolian friends. It's very rude of them to do that, you know? Why would they do that to Mongolia? What did Mongolia do to them? Oh, also for anyone curious, the Comintern, which now is the Warsaw Pact, even though we do not have Warsaw in us at all. I've gotten a lot of little countries into it just through, you know, peer pressure. Peer pressure is absolutely dog shit, though, for getting countries actually to join your faction, and you know what? Pacifism kind of sucks. Nice little encirclement on the Chinese, and that is actually a little encirclement because they do have 500 divisions. My tanks are just rolling, you know, with little issue. That's kind of what heavy tanks do, and that's also what pacifist heavy tanks do. They go forward with that issue, and they don't kill 7 million people. And there goes China. And that is the peace conference. Obviously, we have the People's Menjiang. We have the Free Democratic People's Republic of Manchukuo. We have the Chinese Soviet Republic. We have the Socialist Republic of Canton. And then we have Soviet China here on Taiwan. As it should be. I mean, honestly, pacifist Soviet Union, the Warsaw Pact, we don't own Warsaw. There's also the Cordon Santander, so we don't really like that very much, but can't do anything about it. But you know what? We look pretty good. The European president wants to join my faction. Wait, how can you join my faction? How does that make sense? You were in your own oh, okay. Well, we just got a lot nicer. Okay, I would just like to point out that we got a lot nicer by absorbing them. But I'm gonna call it here, so thank you guys, of course, so much for joining. This is actually kind of fun in its own weird way. Doing the volunteer part, which is what the video started as, is can I win World War II with volunteers? It obviously evolved into a pacifist run, but doing the volunteers was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. Definitely takes a little bit of know-how and a little bit of skill, but it's a fun challenge. Like, if you want a challenge to play the game, try winning the war with volunteers. It's pretty fun. But of course, you know, thank you guys so much for joining. I shall see you all in the next video. Peace out.